City Council to order. Today is Monday, March 16th, 2026. We start with the invocation from Central Church.
Let's pray together. Father, thank you for these leaders. Thank you for calling them to this role at this time in this season of life. Father, thank you for their gifts, their talents, their abilities that they use to serve our community. So, Father, just grant wisdom, peace, and courage as they discuss items this evening. May all that is done be to your glory and to the good of our community, we pray. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Holbert,
Yes.
Ibrahim,
Here.
Sword,
Here.
Alden,
Here.
Caligiuri,
Here.
Dross,
Here.
Hermson,
Here.
Okay.
Joe.
Okay.
He needs to hover. Sorry.
Okay. Next item up is the opportunity for community comments. This is reserved to receive comments from the community for concerns whether or not they're on the current agenda. The community is encouraged to speak before the mayor and city council. Asked to keep statements brief, time limited to no more than 3 minutes. Any questions that are to be asked of the city council, staff, members, or the mayor, we ask that you ask those prior to speaking to the full council so they can be properly researched. Comments are to be directed to the mayor and city council only. We do use a system where people sign up ahead of time, and so we have one tonight, Angie Foster.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. I handed out the flyer for our community input session, which will be on Monday, March 30th, and we are holding that at Bridget's Public House. She will not be open. She has graciously opened her doors for us to have some place casual that we could break apart and do some different groups together. But I would like to invite you and the public, anybody that wants to attend this, to be part of it. Basically what this is we submitted an application to be part of, to develop some new transformational strategies, like our strategic planning. So this will be something we look at what we're going to be doing in the next 5 years. So we would love to have your input. Come and join us. And if anybody has any questions, they can get a hold of me either today or later.
So is this structured kind of like a people in a roundtable sort of discussion sort of based thing?
So what I think first is going to happen is Brooke is going to give us what the survey has shown, what the input with our 1,300 people that have taken the survey. And then we're going to do some breakout sessions where people will break apart, and we'll do probably some different things with sticky notes and different things like that. So very casual, a lot of fun.
Kind of like a SWAT almost?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you, Angie.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you, Angie. Next item is the consent agenda. There are a few things I wanted to draw the council's attention to. Item F is motion reappointing Ruth Newbert to the Municipal Housing Agency. Item G, reappointing Marilyn Porter to the Municipal Housing Agency. Item H is Beverly Hutchinson's appointment to the Civil Service Commission. Item I is Susan Ward to the Historic Preservation Commission. And then item N, it's a resolution setting the date for a public hearing. Charges of selling tobacco to a minor. This one is regarding Stop and Go. And item O is a resolution setting the date for a public hearing on charges of selling tobacco to a minor. This is Hometown Wine and Spirits. And then item R, which is the third reading of the ordinance having to do with municipal parking lots. Do we have a motion of support for the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ibrahim,
Yes.
Sword,
Yes.
Alden,
Yes.
Caligiuri,
Yes.
Dross,
Yes.
Hermson,
Yes.
Holbert,
Yes. Okay, that passes. Getting in, next is the announcement of vacancies we have on various boards and commissions. The Airport Commission, there's one vacancy for a term ending in December of 2028. The Building Code Board of Appeals, we have a vacancy for an ex officio member. Civil Service Commission, we have one vacancy for a term ending March of 2029. And the Planning and Zoning Commission, there's one vacancy for a term ending in April of 2027. And getting into the regular agenda, first item up is the monthly update for the YMCA natatorium completion.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. As Alex is pulling this up, so our monthly update for tonight's meeting, so this would be work done from February 18th to, actually this morning when I went out to check on progress. So with that, we'll get started. Progress on the concrete floors, and so this is for the pool decking area. Bob, don't jump ahead and look at the water just yet. Concentration here is on the pool floor, the decking. The last pour, as you see on the far right, is the pour that will go on once the precast panel is set, which as we get into this, you'll see that it is set. So we are down to one pour of the pool decking, which will take place this week. A little bit of final coating and striping on the recreation pool. At the time of this picture, you'll see that there is a little bit of orange chalk line that has been removed. But like I said, at the time of the picture, it wasn't. It is as of this morning, but I didn't put it into this. So yeah, final coating on the recreation pool. And so that area will kind of sit somewhat idle. They will do a little bit of work on the splash pad accessories when those come in, and then install the pool grading on the gutters. And here is our kind of our before and after of the precast panel. If you remember, the reason for that opening was in order for the contractor to be able to get in and out of the building in a way that made sense to them, and that was to put in a temporary garage door opening and then the precast panel. So you can kind of see the inside on the first picture, the outside, and then it was a very busy place on Thursday, so I just kind of stayed on the outside of the construction fence and took a picture of the precast on the crane, and then went inside and took a picture of the precast kind of setting in its place as they continued to shore that up and work on some grouting and things. And then that brings us to probably the most exciting one. Pool, we began filling that the week of March 2nd. Let that sit until the week of March 9th, so last Monday, and then they began testing that. And when I say they, that is Carly Nelson. That is not part of a required thing, but it was for their satisfaction and something that they've done on all their pool builds. They just, peace of mind, know that what they're up against, if they're up against anything, and then they would begin then the sponge blasting and put the finishing touches. The pool is meant to hold water without paint and such things, so this was a good opportunity to take advantage of that. And so with that being said, it did pass their test. The water loss was found within tolerance of the evaporation. And so that was, they started draining that on Friday and was still draining a little bit as of this morning. So,
Very good.
yeah.
You're not even done.
Yes. And so the next steps, that final deck pour that you can see on that slide in the competition area, once that was set. Originally they were going to do it today, but with the weather and things, they needed going to wait probably tomorrow afternoon or Wednesday, depending on some timing of some inspections and things. And then they are working on it now. We'll continue to work on it. The sponge blasting of the walls and pool basin. Again, if you're not familiar with the sponge blasting, it is a newer technology that replaces the sand blasting, which is the same process they use in the competition or in the recreation pool side. It's reusable. It's less messy to clean up. Also, less dust and things to get into the daycare side and the rest of the facilities since they are in operation. And then, as I mentioned, the install the pool gutter grates in the recreation pool, that'll kind of be the final step before they start to clean that from top down. So Newman Brothers started on that, and they will continue to do that here. And they'll probably be the only ones able to work in there during that time. So they'll be able to install the pool grate while the sponge blasting is taking place. They were able to complete the 2 sections of the west wall, and then they'll continue to move around So that's why it was important to get this precast set so they can start to make their way around. Any questions on?
I've always been curious how long it takes to fill a pool.
This one took 26 hours.
Oh, wow.
And that was off of a fire hydrant. I did some math, but I don't know if it's right on what it would take for a garden hose. So
I did notice one photo did have a hose out in there.
It's the fire hydrant hose, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So we timed it out to 26 hours on that.
Wow.
Continuous. 155,000 gallons
Wow.
goes into that pool.
And then it gets drained out again.
It will
right?
get drained out again. They will let it dry then, and then they will begin their process. So
Okay.
coatings and sponge blasting that as well.
Okay. Still on schedule for August?
Still on schedule.
Nice.
Yep. Next critical path is getting the sponge blasting done so that they can erect scaffolding, which will go from the pool basin up to the rafters so that that can be cleaned and coated one last time. And so that is, the scaffolding is set to be erected on April 12th, so that's a set date, and then set to come down on a certain date. So that's the next critical path of just making sure everything stays in line with that.
Good. Other questions? Very good. Thank you, Stu.
Thanks, Stu.
Item B is to consider a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of a development agreement by and between the City of Oskaloosa and Oskaloosa Multifamily LLC. And so back on January 20th of 2026, we held a study session to discuss their request for tax increment financing. At the time, it was for 50 townhomes in Oskaloosa. Based on council discussions with the developer, city manager was asked to draft a development agreement. Since January 20th, the developer has changed the proposal to 48 townhomes instead of 50 because of some land constraints. All the other provisions discussed at city council remain the same. Then on March 2nd, the city council meeting, a public hearing was scheduled for March 16th to consider entering into the development agreement. The developer is in agreement with the terms of the proposed development. It would obligate the developer to construct minimum improvements in the amount of at least $7,474,104 on a certain real estate property located in the Oskaloosa urban renewal area, generally south of Trio, and that's as defined and legally described in the development agreement, and consists of construction of approximately 48 housing units, which housing units will be affordable to low and moderate income families. IEDA awarded the developer workforce housing tax credits and redevelopment tax credits to the project. The city is willing to provide a local match to that. The agreement does obligate the city to make up to 30 consecutive semi-annual payments to of the economic development grant rebate to the developer, consisting of 100% of the tax increment that is generated by the construction of the minimum improvements, not to exceed the lesser of $3,120,000 or the amount accrued under the formula that's outlined. The agreement also proposes the county setting the minimum actual value of the minimum improvements to be not less than $8,160,000. So this does require a public hearing. I'll open the public hearing at this time if anyone would like to speak. Okay, seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Do we have a motion supporting this?
So move. Second.
Okay, any discussion? We like more housing. Roll call, please.
Sword,
Yes.
Alden,
Yes.
Calabari,
Yes.
Dross,
Abstain.
Hermson,
Yes.
Holbert,
Yes.
Ibrahim.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item C is to consider a resolution approving the agreement with Industrial Development LLC for proposed improvements that are going to be made on First Avenue West. So Industrial Development LLC, it's a subsidiary of Musco. They're proposing to make improvements to First Avenue West from South D Street westward to the edge of the railroad jurisdiction. The improvements would be completed by Industrial Development, no cost to the city. Industrial Development contacted Garden and Associates to develop the plans and specifications for the improvements, City staff have reviewed and determined they meet the city requirements. The existing roadway varies in width, but generally it's around 35 feet wide. The plans will replace the roadway with approximately 550 feet of 31-foot wide PCC concrete pavement and add 26 angled parking stalls on the south side of the roadway. To facilitate the design, the industrial development would like to deed a 15.5-foot by 256.5-foot portion of property along the north side of First Avenue West to the city as a public right-of-way. They're requesting the city vacate a 66-foot by 143.8-foot portion of 2nd Avenue West that's immediately west of South D Street and to exchange the two parcels. The segment of roadway requested is currently a dead-end road. It only serves the properties that are owned by industrial development. Staff has submitted a separate agenda item scheduling the public hearing for April 20th of 2026 to vacate this segment of the road. Industrial development also requested the city add a no parking restriction to the north side of the roadway. I assume that's on First Avenue. If council approves the agreement, staff would prepare an ordinance reflecting the requested change. They've also requested permission to remove some of the excess streetlights that are along High Avenue on the south side of the road, and staff is in agreement that that can be done. So we do have staff recommendation that we approve the resolution. Do we have motion to support of this?
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion?
For the no parking on the north side, have we contacted any businesses to see if that would be?
There are no businesses.
There aren't any on that section.
Also on that segment of the road.
Yep.
That's First Avenue.
Roll call, please.
Holman,
Yes.
Caligiuri,
Yes.
Dross,
Abstain.
Hermson,
Yes.
Yes.
Holbert, Ibrahim,
Yes.
Sword,
Yes.
That passes. Item D is to consider a request for the vacation and sale of a 54.5-foot by 12-foot east-west alley that's adjacent to 307 Northeast Street. Staff received the request from Brian Kreil. He's the owner of the property located at 307 North E for that section of alley. The property owner listed the reason for the request was to vacate the alley adjacent to his property just to complete the property. The west half of the alley already belongs to the property. So the subject alley is located in a general commercial GC zoning district. Planning and Zoning Commission considered the request at their meeting on March 3rd, recommended approval of the alley on a unanimous 8-0 vote. Staff conducted a survey of the property owners and the utility companies who have direct access to the portion of the alley. 4 of the property owners surveyed, 0 responses received. At the time of writing the memo, 2 utility companies have responded, neither of which have infrastructure located through this alley that would require any kind of access. And so I'll go ahead and open up the public hearing at this time if anyone would like to speak to this. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Do we have a motion of support?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion?
That's, how do they find that? Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like cleaning up our zoning map, but it's probably been like that for decades, that little piece.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, I'm not sure when the piece of the west was vacated. I didn't look that
Yeah.
up.
No, that's okay.
Roll call.
Caligiuri,
Yes.
Dross,
Yes.
Hermson,
Yes.
Holbert,
Yes.
Ibrahim,
Yes.
Sword,
Yes.
Holman,
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item E. This is a request for a vacation of sale of a 60-foot by 16.5-foot east-west alley. It's adjacent to 601 C Avenue West. Staff received the alley vacate request from Brian Kreil, owner of the property at 601 C Avenue West for the 60-foot by 16.5-foot east-west alley adjacent to the property. Property owner listed his reason for the request was just to increase the lot size for a potential ADU. Acronym is accessory dwelling unit, right? Okay. The subject alley is located in a residential zoning district. P&Z Commission considered this request at their meeting on March 3rd, recommended approving the alley vacate by a vote of 8-0. Staff conducted the survey of the property owners and utility companies with direct access to the alley. 3 neighboring property owners surveyed, 0 responses received. At the time of writing the memo, 2 utility companies have responded, neither of which have infrastructure located that would require an access easement. And so we do have to have a hearing on this as well. Is there anyone who would like to speak to this? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Do I have a motion of support?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion on this? Roll call, please.
Drost,
Yes.
Hermsen,
Yes.
Holbert,
Yes.
Ibrahim,
Yes.
Sword,
Yes.
Almond,
Yes.
Calgery,
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item F. This is to consider a resolution levying special assessment against private property for cutting and removal of weeds by the city of Oskaloosa. It's done under Title 8, Chapter 8.20 of the City Code. We do need to have a hearing on this. We did have certified notices sent to the property owner. Notice was published in the Oskaloosa Herald. And if approved, the property owner has 30 days from the time of filing with Mahaska County Treasurer to pay for the weed cutting in the city clerk's office. After 30 days, it's assessed to the property taxes with a payment schedule at 9% interest. I believe there's only one property owner here. It does require a public hearing. Is there anyone who would like to speak to this? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Do we have a motion of support?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Hermsen,
Yes.
Holbert,
Yes.
Ibrahim,
Yes.
Sword,
Yes.
Almond,
Yes.
Calgery,
Yes.
Drost,
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item G. This is an ordinance, considering an ordinance amending Chapter 17.04 zoning district regulations, 17 Code Section 1705, .05 site development regulations, and 17.06 having to do with supplemental site standards. And so the Oskaloosa developed our Plan OSKI comprehensive plan back in 2022, new zoning code in 2023, and so it's common for municipalities to review the effectiveness of the codes and then make any adjustment to address issues that pop up. Section 1 below is required by Iowa Senate File 592 that passed last year. The remaining amendments are proposed based on feedback received from property owners, city staff, the Planning and Zoning Commission, Board of Adjustment, and the county supervisors. So, Section 1, this is the one that came from Senate File 592, is modifications that need to be made allowing accessory dwelling units, ADUs. First off, we remove any placement limitation in a side or rear yard. Remove the requirement to be subordinate to the principal structure. Increase the maximum size from 800 square foot to either 1,000 square foot or 50% of the size of the primary residence, whichever is larger. Next item is to remove parking space requirement, and finally to remove the site plan application requirement to planning and zoning, and that would match the process for a single unit dwelling process as a permit at the staff level. Stuff we came up with on our own. Number 2 is the horses and equine hoofed animals. So we had a minimum 25-foot setback from the property line and some clarification on the type of livestock building. Item 3 has to do with small animals and fowls. So again, reducing the building setback from 25 feet to 10 feet from the property line. We would add a 25-foot separation from neighboring property structures. We would clarify that an enclosure is required and modify the bird limit from 1 per 2,000 square foot to no cap, with no cap, to 4 birds plus 1 additional bird per 1,000 square foot of lot area over 4,000 square foot up to a maximum of 12 birds. Okay?
Wow.
That sounds like it took some.
That's some good word crafting there, that is. Animal raising, eliminate the site plan application so that it, as far as being required to go to planning and zoning, just process it as at the staff level. And then the residential accessory structures, we will allow them to be closer to the street than the principal building and also larger than the principal building itself. And eliminate the 1,200 square foot maximum size, but retain the 30% maximum yard coverage. In R1 districts, we reduce the minimum height from 20 feet to 15 feet, or height of the principal structure, and also increase the maximum size from 720 square feet to 1,024 square feet. And then in the R2 districts, we would reduce the maximum height from 20 feet to 15 feet and reduce maximum size from 720 square foot to 1,024 square foot. Planning and zoning began their review in November and completed it in February. Additional details and correspondence, there's a website for that. Do we have a motion of support?
Moved.
Except I should have done the public hearing first.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I got an amateur up here. Okay, we'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone who'd like to speak to these zoning regulation changes? Okay, seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Do we have a motion of support?
Moved.
Second.
There's our second. Okay, comments?
At least you can have chickens.
You can't have chickens in your ADU, though. No.
Oh, well.
In an average yard, I know it's based on square footage, but what is the maximum number of birds that we're going to allow with this?
12.
And is that a decrease from where we've been?
There currently is no.
No.
Okay, that's what I
That's
thought
what
I
I'm saying,
understood.
So yes.
And do we know if there will be any folks that will be over the limit?
Are you gonna grandfather them?
As long as the chickens are alive,
We-
right?
We have only had, we've only had one property owner who has gone to the Planning and Zoning Commission for approval for chickens. So we're hoping by permitting this at the staff level, we're encouraging more people to come to us. I am aware of at least one property.
I know,
that
yeah.
They would be grandfathered under
Oh,
this
they would be
change.
great, okay.
That's the only one that he's talking about that I'm aware of that we've dealt with. We've tried to get the information out to the people. We drop pamphlets with the green tag when we do it, letting them know what the regulations were until we changed them now. But just the thing of getting them registered with the city is the big thing.
Is that the one I called you on?
I can't, we've had so many chickens.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of chickens in this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So for the,
And goats.
and feeding off of Andy's question, so we have someone who has more than 12 chickens now. As we, presuming that we enact this after the third reading, would they then need to downsize to be in compliance with the code?
It doesn't, well,
Technically, if they haven't registered, yes, they would.
Yeah, and I assume that would be as chickens die, or would they need to go in and actually call? Being polite with my language here, but reduce the size of the flock, or would it be allowed to, as chickens die?
maybe the word grandfather.
More than likely, that's gonna be at our discretion, I think,
Okay,
so.
yeah, I guess that makes sense. If it's a nuisance, then the process can be quicker. Yeah,
Does
okay.
there have to be any wording for the one that would potentially be grandfathered in?
Yeah.
Because
I
it
don't-
isn't currently in the.
I don't believe there would need to be that language.
Other questions, comments?
You can only have 12, huh?
Roll call, please.
Olbert,
Yes.
Ibrahim,
Yes.
Sword,
Yes.
Alden,
Yes.
Caligiuri,
Yes.
Dross,
Yes.
Hermson,
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item H. This is a resolution that schedules a public hearing on the vacation and sale of a 143.8 foot by 66 foot east-west segment of 2nd Avenue West, adjacent to 215 South D Street. Staff is requesting the vacation of this segment that is adjacent to Industrial Development LLC's property. They've proposed improvements to 1st Avenue West that would require them to deed a portion of their property along the north side of 1st Avenue West to the city for right-of-way and have requested this portion of 2nd Avenue West in exchange. Subject street is between the general commercial and community commercial zoning district. So Oskaloosa Municipal Code Section 12.24020 requires this street vacate request to be referred to the Planning and Zoning Commission. Staff is conducting a survey of the utility companies who have direct access to this portion of the street And at this time, council is setting a public hearing date on April 20th of 2026 and referring this request to planning and zoning. The recommendation is to approve the resolution setting the public hearing and refer the request to P&Z. Do we have a motion of support?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion?
I have a question regarding the sidewalks, and I don't know if that can be addressed now or if we need to do that at the other meeting, but how would that obviously would transfer ownership if we were to vote yes on that. Would that be correct?
Yes, and generally speaking, sidewalks belong to the adjoining property owner to maintain anyway, even though they exist in the public right of way. With this, if this is vacated and sold as is proposed, then really there would be no requirement for them to have sidewalks anymore since it wouldn't be along public right of way.
Right.
But if we wanted to discuss that in more detail, it would probably be better for the public hearing.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Good question.
Roll call, please.
Ibrahim?
Yes.
Sword?
Yes.
Almond?
Yes.
Caligiuri?
Yes.
Dross?
Abstain.
Hermson?
Yes.
Holbert?
Yes.
That passes. Item I. This is to consider an ordinance to amend Oskaloosa City Code Title II, Administration Personnel. It adds a new section 2.92 to the code, creating an Arts and Culture Commission according to the terms and conditions thereof. This is the second reading of this. City staff determined it's desirable to create a new City Arts and Culture Commission to serve and encourage the cooperation and coordination of projects and activities in the fields of arts and culture to enhance the quality of life of the community. It's accordingly appropriate to amend the city code to add this new section, formally creating and establishing the Arts and Culture Commission and set forth and clarify its duties, powers, and operational guidelines. Do we have a motion of support on this second reading?
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Sword?
Yes.
Almond?
Yes.
Caligiuri? Dross?
Yes.
Hermson?
Yes.
Holbert?
Yes.
Ibrahim?
Yes.
That passes. Okay, gets us to the end of our regular agenda. Reports from city staff, city manager.
I just want to thank the McGuire today for their presentation and also Marianne taking on this new storytelling festival. I think that could be a really cool thing for the community. Just as a way of reminder, on March 23rd, at 5 o'clock, we have the tax levy hearing. At 5:30, we have a special council meeting scheduling the public hearing for the budget.
Okay.
So get that on your calendars. And then, did everyone get my performance evaluation from the consultant? Did that come?
Yeah, I deleted it.
Yes.
Put it in the trash.
Okay.
No, got it.
Okay.
So that's all I have.
Okay, very good. City clerk.
The city received 14 RFPs for the compensation study, and we are scheduled to meet this week to discuss those. There was a lot of reading.
So, let's see, and this actually gets down to the point of, here's what it would cost. you know,
Yes.
Right, so, okay. City attorney.
I would have nothing, thank you.
Okay, very good. Javin, anything from you?
No, I don't have anything other than, thank you for presenting that storytelling festival. I think that'll be really cool.
Yep, Joe?
Just a reminder, I won't be here for city council on April 6th. I'll be on the other side of the pond. Just keep your eye on him down there. Yeah. That's all I got.
Okay. Andy?
Thank you, first responders. Chief Vaughn, did you guys have to get out on this last night? I know
We didn't have any calls.
PD was out there, so appreciate what you guys are doing. Thank you.
Okay. Janet?
Yeah, I want to say thank you to the first responders and our utility workers. I don't know if many know, I grew up a little bit south of Lake McConaughey in Nebraska, and right now, just a little bit north of that, they're experiencing the largest wildfire in Nebraska history. Over 700 square miles have burned, so that we have the equipment that we need, I think is really important. So really glad to see that the council is always making sure we have the equipment that our first responders need. So
Bob?
No, sir, thank you.
I just have one thing, and it's a little bit in advance, but Mayor and I sit on the landfill commission board. April 25th, we're going to have an e-cycle at the Musco parking lot over by Hy-Vee, 8 to 11. You can even get me to unload any unwanted TVs, electronics that you'll have. Last year I worked it with Joe, who runs our landfill, and we filled 4 semis, I believe, Mayor, wasn't it?
Wow. Yeah.
So anything that will save us from having to put it in the landfill, obviously, is good for us. So I know it's a little bit ahead, but it's April 25th, 8 to 11, and start loading your trunks up full of stuff. And we have a drive-through, and we'll unload you and go. So I just want to let everybody know what that.
So Public Works are getting out there this morning. I saw some plows out there, so just thanks for being ready whenever it happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and ditto what's been said about the work. First responders, of course. That these are when weather turns harsh like this. That's when we really get challenged. The police cars out there doing what they do, and there's a lot of furnaces running. There's a lot of opportunities for stuff to go sideways with fire stuff, but also our street crews. These are stressful times as well for the plows to be out and keeping the streets clear, especially in high wind, the way that it's been going. So thank you all for working in some rather harsh conditions. With that, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.